It is I Rock, followed by the Optimist.
What is up, everyone?
Just Proto had dropped a bunch of fun stuff to talk about. So I mean, we may as well get into it for the most part. I mean, what's first? Probably Boshlea or Boshlea, however you want to say it.
Yeah, we got Bausch we got the Mob Enforcer rework, and the last of the Jobber requirements, which I think we'll get to later. Let's definitely start with Leia, but real quick before we start, for anyone currently listening, or if you step out for whatever reason, I do have this streaming live to my YouTube, and it is going to be available once the stream is over. So for whatever reason you want to go rewatch this later, it will be up on my YouTube at The Optimist. But yeah, just wanted to get that carried away, and I'll definitely post a link once this is done. But yeah, let's go ahead and let's get into this.
Also, I think did we talk about profundity last time? Because I think it's came out since the last time we've chatted.
I think it did. We don't need to go over the kit. I think we can just talk about,
no.
I think we can just talk about how we feel about it.
Yeah.
And then
we got the Savage Omicron.
Yeah, we got the Savage one. Do you want to start with just what we feel about the profundity and the Omicron?
Yeah. For the profundity, I have two in my shard right now. One's at 4-star and one's at 7. And as an executor owner, and that's all I have. It is I like the balancing that they did. I don't feel like any of my when I'm attacking a profundity, I don't feel like the battle ever gets out of hand.
Mm-hmm.
But I also feel like those people with profundity are just crushing through me on their way to first.
Yeah, I think it definitely was when just looking at the verbiage of the kit, it was definitely designed to counter the Executor, and I think on offense it does that really well. And from what I've seen, the Executor should still it's a little bit of a challenge, but you can still pretty easily beat the profundity, and I think that's good. We'll see over the next couple months, or I guess over the next month. If they need to touch it up a little bit, but I think for the most part it looks good. I like what it's bringing overall to the ship meta.
Yeah, it's nice not having to mirror Executor every day, and then you think that you are gonna get the insta kill first, and then they get the insta kill before you, and you're just like, wow, great. Now I have to I just have to redo a battle. It's so much fun. And then I guess we can go into Savage. I did not see a Savage Omicron. I was not. That was not in my realm of things that they were going to release.
No, I didn't actually see that coming. And real quick, since it's just an Omi, I can I'll pull this one up I'll read it out real quick. So it's on his unique ability, and it is for Grand Arena. So his normal unique, which is a Zeta, whenever Savage takes damage, he gains defense up, heal over time, and offense up for 2 turns, and gains 30% turn meter. At the end of his turn, Savage dispels all debuffs on a random other Sith ally and gains those debuffs for 1 turn, and you dispel all debuffs from Savage whenever he is critically hit. So now, while in Grand Arenas, Savage gains 50% defense, max health, and offense, and 30 speed. And at the start of the encounter, Savage gains 2 stacks of resilient defense. At the end of his turn, Savage gains 2 stacks of resilient defense, max of 10, and 10% turn meter, max of 50%, for each debuff on other Sith allies. Whenever he is critically hit, he gains 16% health steal and offense, both of them stacking to a max of 160%, and other Sith allies gain 4% health steal and offense, stacking to a max of 40%. And whenever he is critically hit, recover 15% health and protection, and gain 10% turn meter until the end of the encounter. And while Savage has resilient defense, he has plus 50% defense per stack, and is inflicted with vulnerable, which can't be prevented or dispelled. Whenever Savage gains taunt, he dispels it and gains 2 stacks of resilient defense. I'm not gonna lie, I really like this touch up, and I'm actually I'm in the C process right now. I definitely will be getting this Omicron, and I actually am going to gear up Savage for the sole purpose of using him with either Maul or with C. I think this is a really good like just minor rework to a character.
Uh, Sorry, I was eating some. I don't know. I really like. Is Savage in game a tank or is he an attacker? I think he's an attacker, right?
Yeah, he's an attacker.
Okay, but he still gains taunt, which is pretty nice because that's the one thing like the Sith faction as a whole is missing is like a lot of like just tanks that can taunt because really much it's Malik and then Malgus is the only two Sith that I can think of.
You have Set
And then
as well.
Sith, yeah,
Yeah.
Set as well, but I
Again,
mean
like all three of those are with Sith Empire.
Sith Empire, yeah.
And you
There's not-
honestly could realistically run maybe not all three, but definitely at least two of them at the same time.
Yeah, so it's just nice to see that you have a tank for like C now. Like you can have a reliable tank to run with C in Grand Arena, or even the just there's Sith faction as a whole is pretty big. So I mean,
Yeah, I think just with this,
with,
like,
with Maul lead, you can make a whole nother team. So
oh,
now
for
it's nice
sure.
to have a another tank to go with it.
But yeah, no, I think it's really nice. It makes him super tanky. I think I might even think that like you might just mod him for defense or something and just let him just progressively gain offense over time. I mean, he's going to be having some crazy turn meter shenanigans. I mean, shoot, like whenever he takes damage, he's gaining 30% turn meter just off the rip. And then whenever he is crit, he's gaining an additional 10% turn meter. So that's 40% turn meter. And then at the end of the turn, he's dispelling debuffs. And let's see here. He gains resilient defense and 10% turn meter for each debuff on other Sith allies. So he could just get 50% turn meter at the end of his turn. All of a sudden, he gets crit, and he's pretty much taking another turn. I mean,
Yeah.
it's going to be a fun character. I think for GAC, it's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, we'll see. Mine's like gear 8 right now, so I'm definitely not going to be having this available anytime soon. But I think this is one that I plan on getting.
He's also a character that when you take him the relics, he hits pretty hard. His special's pretty decent.
Oh, for sure. So yeah, it's a good rework. All right, enough dorking around here. Let's jump into. We'll start with Bausch Leia. She is the final marquee for the jobber requirements, and final marquee and going to be one of the set 3 requirements. So Bausch Leia is a light side attacker, bounty hunter, Hutt cartel leader, and scoundrel. And when we look here, it's looking like, especially in the road ahead post, like Jabba's going to be using thermal detonators a lot, and I think Leia's going to be a crucial part of this. So we'll jump into the kit right here. The basic ability: deal special damage to target enemy and inflict a thermal detonator for 2 turns. If the ally in the leader slot is Hutt Cartel, this attack can't be evaded. And if the ally in the leader slot is a bounty hunter, inflict defense down for 2 turns. And if it's Bausch's turn and the ally in the leader slot is a smuggler, attack again. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of liking this. There's a lot of like synergy between like a bounty hunter lead, if you got Jabba in the lead, or like if you're running her with Dash. I think there's a lot of some synergy here for that. Her special number 1, deal special damage to all enemies and detonate all thermal detonators. Then inflict a thermal detonator for 2 turns on all enemies. Her unique number 1, which is a Zeta. Bausch is immune to fear. At the start of the battle, Bausch gains 1 stack of My Kind of Scum until the end of the battle, which can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented. At the start of the encounter, all enemies gain Deadly Bluff for 3 turns. And at the end of each turn, if an enemy with Deadly Bluff was inflicted with any thermal detonators, inflict an additional thermal detonator for 2 turns. If all allies were Hut Cartel at the start of the battle, enemies with Deadly Bluff can't attack at a turn, and if they have both Deadly Bluff and Thermal Detonators, they lose 25 speed. If the ally in the leader slot is Hut Cartel and not a Galactic Legends, Bausch is immune to turn meter manipulation. Bausch will assist, limit once per turn, whenever another Hut Cartel ally uses an ability during their turn and target enemy has Deadly Bluff. And My Kind of Scum, which is the status effect that she gains at the start of the battle, is plus 10% max health and defense. And Deadly Buff is going to be a new status effect as well. So unique number 2, which is an Omicron. Bausch and light side smuggler allies gain 5% armor penetration, 15% offense, and 10% potency, and 10 speed. Let's see here. Interesting here that they call out armor penetration for Bausch because she does not deal physical damage. So that is essentially worthless to her. So I wonder if they're going to change that to defense penetration. Anyways, if the ally in the leader slot is Hut Cartel, Bausch and Lightside Smuggler allies are immune to ability block and stun, and these bonuses are doubled. Lightside Smuggler allies gain 20% critical chance. And while in raids, the max cooldown of Inventive, which is special number 1, is reduced by 1. If the ally on the leader slot is Hut Cartel, when Fearless inflicts a thermal detonator, all Hut Cartel allies gain 10% armor penetration, max 200%, 20% offense, max 400%, and 20% potency, max 400%, and 10 speed, max 100. So this is the first raid Omicron that we've seen. We'll touch on this in a second here. And the leader ability. Final text. Bounty Hunter allies gain 25% max health and protection, and enemies with Deadly Bluff lose 25% tenacity. At the end of each turn, dispel all buffs on enemies with both Deadly Bluff and Thermal Detonator, and the contract is defeat an enemy with damage from Thermal Detonators. And the reward for the contract is all bounty hunters have their payouts activated and are immune to stun. Additionally, enemies can't be revived. And her specific payouts is inflict 3 thermal detonators for 2 turns on all enemies, ambidextrous assault and inventive, which is her basic and special. Inflict 1 additional thermal detonator until the end of the battle. If all allies were Hut Cartel at the start of the battle, the cooldown of her special is reset, and the max cooldown is reduced by 1. So if you were to be running this in the raid, I believe she only has a 1-turn cooldown on this. So pretty much you just are just running this all the time. So what are your thoughts here on Bausch Leia?
I don't know. I'm just thinking about how it's gonna work with Jabba. I guess I need to see Jabba's kit before I see hers, but I remember that Chrysanthemum doesn't have like a thermal detonator with him in his kit.
Mm-mm.
Or does he? And then Skiff, Guard Lando didn't have anything where he was throwing a thermal detonator. So I'm just wondering, like, it seems like with her special, you either use it turn 1 to just spread a bunch of thermal detonators, or you're using it kind of like, what's his name? Jawa Scavenger, where you just wait for him to build up and then you just, pop them all at once. But I just don't.
Holy cow. I'm sorry. The base stats for Bausch were posted on .gg. Base speed of 185, so she's going to be pretty fast for an attacker. Yeah. Base at gear 13, 141% potency. Wow. Yes. That is a lot. And her stats, I want to double check here. She has 5064 special damage, 20% special crit chance, 130 resistance penetration, and I want to see where that ranks among other characters like that. So, okay, so she actually has very high special damage. She is kind of in the top tier for that, and a little bit above average resistance penetration, so that's not bad. And her special crit chance is always fairly low, so it's not saying much here. But yeah, she really likes potency. Good lord. Anyways, not to interrupt you there.
No, you're good. That I'm on .gg myself looking at it too, but I don't know. I don't really. It seems like they want Java to work with a bunch of people who are going to be throwing thermal detonators all over the place. And so far, the only Hut cartel that I see, other than Bosch Leia, that do thermal detonators are Greedo and Mob Enforcer. Unless I don't think Cad Bane has one.
Yes, he does on his
Stun Cold.
on his payouts. Whenever he
Yeah.
evades, he will inflict thermal detonators.
Okay. So that's three. I just don't. I mean, I guess you have obviously Chrysanthemum is going to be your tank for that squad, and then you run. I mean, Skiff Guard Lando is your second, and then obviously Bosch Leia, who's your fifth. I guess you run your fifth as Greedo, just to get more thermal detonators out there, or do you run Mob Enforcer? I don't know.
I guess we'll
Just
see.
yeah,
What I'm thinking is I think Jabba's lineup isn't going to be set. I think it's going to
yeah,
change based off the mode that you're in. So I'm not sure if like Bausch is going to be like a raid character or specifically like a TB character or like, I'm not really sure if there's a set team for each one because like we might see like Chrysanthemum be used in GAC, but then maybe in like TB or Territory Wars, there's a different tank in there. So we'll see how that goes. We did get some more info on Jabba, but we'll touch on that in a second. But yeah,
yeah.
I think the character looks cool, but I think it's definitely like as with Lando and with Chrysanthemum, it's definitely like pigeonholed into like it can only be run with this team.
But she has a little bit more synergy with other stuff, though, unlike the other two.
Mm-hmm. Double attacking looks pretty cool there. If you're running Dash as the leader, if the in the Allen the leader slot as a smuggler, attack again. That could be pretty cool. I don't know. We'll see how the character goes.
I like how our leader is bounty hunter allies, so it's a pretty if you're not running her with Java, you can run her as a bounty hunter lead, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool to see the dispelling the buffs with both Deadly Bluff and Thermal Detonator. That's kind of interesting. I think it is cool. I like for the Hut Cartel here. Losing speed is definitely going to be interesting.
Yeah.
And where was it here? Immune to ability block and stun is definitely going to be interesting. So her and Lando are immune to ability block and stun, so that'll be cool. But that leads us into the requirements, the last set of requirements for Jabba. And I'm not going to lie, the requirements were very forgiving. I thought we were going to see an R9, and we only have one Relic 8 character for all of this. So the requirements are for the last set, Bausch Leia at Relic 5, Aura Singh at Relic 6, Fennec Shand at Relic 7, Boba Fett at Relic 7, and Mob Enforcer at Relic 3. Final thoughts on what's required to get Jabba?
I don't know. I was very certain that they were going to throw R2 in there. I don't know why. I had a strong feeling they were going to throw R2 in there. And then also Boba Fett at Relic 7, like you don't even like if you have I'm just thinking if you have Executor and JML, you practically have half of the requirements done.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to like touch a couple of them up, but like for the most part you have all of them done.
I mean, shoot, I was looking because I'm in that same boat. I have Jedi Master Luke and Executor, and a lot of these characters are going to be, I would say, with exception to Bausch, Lando, Chrysanthemum, we obviously have to go farm them, and I would imagine their gear is going to be a bit tougher. But all these characters are like original characters, like Mob Enforcer. There are no Kairos there. Like it's a day one character. and for like Jawa, I mean, it sucks to gear these guys up, but at the same time, it's not really going to be eating into valuable gear. And I'm looking at this, and I think I might just have to rearrange what GLs I'm going for, because this is very not easy to get, but it's looking pretty good.
I would just be careful because if I'm not mistaken, I think Gamorrean Guard has like 450 Kairos. Not Kairos, Carbantes.
Probably.
I think he has. Hang on, I haven't pulled up. Full gear list. Yeah, 450 Carbantes, 200 stun guns. But then that's about it. That's the worst of it. One golden eye bomb, like the 50 stun cuffs. Like he doesn't even have a terrible gear 12. Like it's really just the Carbantes that are killing him. But like the majority of the characters are like very easy to get. Besides like the new ones that they put out. But then like if you have JML, then you have Jedi Knight Luke already done. You just have to bring Solo up 2 relic levels. You got to bring 3PO up 2 relic levels. And then if you have Executor, I mean, Boba Fett's already done.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just, farming up the rest of them. Outrider the 7-star is not bad either, but
especially with the profundity coming out, like we're gonna want Outrider anyways. Yeah, but I think you'll definitely, when we're talking about what we're farming, I think I might be slotting this in. Not soon, but this is definitely like rising up my project list of like things I'm going for. And especially with the new TB being announced in the road ahead, I think Jabba's going to be a must-have. But wanted to touch on Mob Enforcer, because Mob Enforcer got a rework, straight up rework. They went and touched everything up. So the first thing, she is no longer a tank. She is a support, which I think is much better because she was a really bad tank. She got a full facelift. They went and redid her whole model, new portrait and everything. On the basic, deal physical damage to target enemy and inflict defense down for 2 turns. If the ally in the leader slot is Hut Cartel and the target already had defense down, inflict daze, expose, and vulnerable for 2 turns instead. Those are good debuffs there. Special number 1, deal physical damage to target enemy and detonate all thermal detonators on them. Then inflict a thermal detonator on target enemy for 2 turns with a 40% chance for Mob Enforcer to gain a bonus turn. Instead, if this ability defeats an enemy, Mob Enforcer gains a bonus turn. And her unique, at the start of the encounter, Mob Enforcer gains 25% max health for each Scoundrel ally, 25% max protection for each Bounty Hunter ally, and 10 speed for each Hut Cartel ally. Whenever an ally falls below 30% health, Mob Enforcer gains offense up for 2 turns, and the cooldown of thermal detonators is reduced by 1. And also, this character has no Zetas. I'm not gonna lie. This isn't bad. Like, this is kind of good.
Yeah, especially for a one special, one unique character. She's going to be pretty tanky.
And I'm looking at her gear here. She has 200 stun cuffs and 200 Carbantes. And that's it.
Oh. That's probably like 2 weeks worth of Carbantes. Probably less than that. 200 at most if you're not buying any.
And when I'm looking at this, she's base at gear 13, base 152 speed. You run her with a full team of Hut Cartel. I mean, you could get her pretty fast. That's an extra 50 speed that you're throwing on her. I don't know if you necessarily want to mod her for speed, but like, this isn't bad. For no Zetas, minimal investment, and especially if you're having to take her to R3, you might be able to chuck her on a B team, and she's at least like not doing nothing. Like, she can actually like do something in a team.
Yeah. And I think the other thing is that they're kind of setting Jabba up to where, like you said earlier, where it's going to be kind of like mix and match, where you're going to want all the Hut Cartel, So how many do we have right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 9 right now, and then Java will make 10. So basically, you're going to get 2 full Hut Cartel squads.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they all can't go with Jabba. You're going to have to mix them up somewhere. Well, I mean, Boba, Cad Bane, and Embo and Greedo can all go with the Bounty Hunter team. But, I mean, I think you might want to run Greedo with Jabba, especially with all the thermal detonators.
You know, I'm looking at this, and you know, we might see OG Boba Fett like lead come back. Like, especially if you want to make a second Heart Cartel team. You know, I'm looking at this. All allies gain 50% crit damage and 10% crit chance. Bounty Hunter allies gain 15 speed for each debuffed enemy. Gain max health equal to 50% of the total potency of all Bounty Hunter allies. And gain 15% turn meter whenever a thermal detonator explodes. When Boba Fett is in the leader spot, you kill the first person to take a turn, and then you get stuff. Especially with Bausch on this team, like, and again, it depends on how you're mixing and matching the teams, but like, I think you could make some solid teams with the Hut Cartel people.
Yeah, I would have to agree there. And then you have Chrysanthemum, which gives Chrysanthemum's kind of your, B tier or C tier leader for Hut Cartel.
Mm-hmm.
But then even his is very scoundrel. Like, you don't even, his Hut Cartel stuff's not too good. Whenever a Hut Cartel ally is critically hit, they gain 5% offense stacking for 2 turns. So you only stack 10% offense max. Guess that's what that means. Which that's not even really too good.
I guess we'll see when Jabba's kit comes out, but it's looking good. I think I'm liking how this faction's turning out. But I say let's jump into the Erota head here.
Yeah, let's do it.
So starting with Galactic Legend Jabba, they did confirm a couple things. I encourage anyone watching this now or watching this later to go watch the video for the road ahead. They have some developers there, and they actually show some gameplay clips, which is really cool. Jabba is going to be a support GL, but he's not going to be a passive GL. So if you were to put him with no one else, he should still be able to just not like disappear like C-3PO or Mon Mothma does. The rat monkey, as Crumb or Salacious B. Crumb, is a part of just Jabba's model. It's not going to be a playable character, which is cool. And Jabba, I believe from what I saw, is just going to be tucked in the back corner. Even if you're running him in the leader slot, just like due to the size of his model, is always just going to be in the back left corner, and everyone else will be spaced around him. His ultimate is going to be the Rancor insta-killing someone, which is very cool. The animation looked very cool for that. They did say that it's not necessarily his animation, but what were your thoughts on the video and what we saw from Jabba?
Look cool. They mentioned the part where you're not going to be able to have Jabba as an ally, which is kind of an interesting like little tidbit. They mentioned that real quick. They were like, "Oh yeah, if you want to use Jabba as an ally, like you're not going to be able to do that." And they were like, "Yeah, just because he's just too big. That and he, has other people do his work for him instead of him doing it himself. So you can't like." It's like if you're using him for like, if you're one of those people that like, sets up a GL, so and then you add a bunch of, newer players so that way they can get through like CMs and the missions at the beginning of the game. Mm-hmm. Don't run Jabba as your ally. I thought that was cool. It's also nice that we finally have a support GL. That was kind of one that we were missing for a while. Mm-hmm. I just hope that I wonder how many specials how many like abilities he's gonna have, because I think they'll give him at least 3. But
I would think that he'd be just like the rest, and he would have like 3 abilities, and then later unique, GL unique.
Yeah, That's probably what they'll do. Yeah, that seems about right. I'm just hoping that like his basic is like some cool like call all, Hut Cartel to assist, but they deal like 50% less damage. Like that'd be pretty cool on the basic.
Yeah. And I think we're going to see more stuff with thermal detonators. Maybe there's going to be a new thing where, like, special abilities will now do more stuff with thermals. I think, and I'm going to have to probably go rewatch this, but they mentioned that thermals are going to be important to charging his ultimates, and the team is going to revolve around thermals. So we will see where that goes, but some of these characters might be more important than others, but yeah, Jabba looks good. We don't have a release date yet, but I would imagine probably, especially because the title update is in certification right now, so I would imagine we're probably going to see something within the next week or two. Next thing is we have a new territory battle coming. It is the Rise of the Empire, and what is going to be special about this one is it is a neutral TB. It is going to have light side, dark side, and both. And it is going to be a new style of TB. There's going to be multiple paths, and it is going to involve different planets, and it is going to follow the Rise of the Empire, so after Revenge of the Sith, all the way up into A New Hope, and it is going to be about the Empire hunting down Jedi, hunting down, rebels, and we're going to see basically all the things that, Disney's making content on, and they did say that there is going to be, they're going to be constantly updating this TB, so it's not going to be set in stone. They can constantly add updates to this. What were your thoughts here on what they said about the TB?
First off, they said that there was going to be some Phoenix missions, and I'm not a big fan of that. So, yeah, I think this one's going to be an L. I'm sorry. No, I'm just joking. I don't know. I like it. It looked just like looking at the little, the concept art that they put out. It looks pretty cool. Where I don't know how they're going to do it like a phase. How are they going to figure out what's a phase? And then I figure that the guild officers and leaders are going to decide what path you take. And so it looks almost like that each path gives out a different reward or whatever. And so it's more or less you got to figure out which way you're going to go to start, which could be kind of annoying. I don't know. I do like the little light side, dark side thing that they got going on. And then the neutrals in the middle. And then, I don't know why, but for the concept art, they put like veers at like a bunch of little planets. So I wonder if that means that this is like a Veers planet. I don't know.
I think what'll be interesting is like, I think each planet might give different buffs, or there might be a platoon for each planet, or
yeah.
each path, something like that. I would imagine on each path, a certain team is going to have a special mission, and just spitballing from what I've heard, we have it confirmed that Jabba is going to have his own special mission. So I think that's part of the incentive to getting Jabba is you'll be able to do this special mission. And I forgot to mention it earlier, Darkside Geo and Darkside Hoth will also gain a special mission for Jabba. So that's going to be happening. I would say for the light side path, they specifically name dropped Phoenix. I would imagine Phoenix is going to have a special mission, or there will be something needed for Phoenix. And they specifically also mentioned the Inquisitors. So I would definitely think that Inquisitors are going to be needed for this. So I know that, CG hasn't given us enough reasons to farm Inquisitors. The Galactic Challenges weren't enough, and on all that. But I would imagine the Assault Battle. Yeah, I would imagine we're going to be needing Inquisitors. But I think it's going to be. We'll see how the rewards go, but I think it's going to be interesting, and I think this also adds a lot of value to the territory battle Omicrons. I think those are going to become much more necessary now, and especially like the Karth one. I think finally now has value because you can run an ideal Karth team.
Yeah, you can actually put Candors with it now. and that will make that Omicron very broken. Uh, Also, another thing is in the video they mentioned that Riva will be the like reward tune for this, but they also said like at the start.
Oh, did they?
So
I was skimming through the video, so I must have missed that. Did they
yeah,
confirm that Riva's going to be the new TB character?
yeah, they announced that Riva will be the TB character. So that means you probably will need Inquisitors for her little mission, kind of like Cam or whatever.
Okay.
So we'll get Riva, and then they also but the way they worded it, they said like upon launch, Riva will be the new TB character. So my guess is that I feel like you mentioned earlier how they're gonna like keep updating it. I figure they'll just introduce because they want us to be playing this toward the end of the year. They're like end of the year is when they expect this thing to come out. So I'm thinking like November or December
Mm-hmm.
is would be my guess. And
I
then
I could see each pathway having its own character, and I think we could possibly
yeah,
see. I think big because I also saw in the art, we did get to see and for Jabba, Carbonite Han, which is pretty cool. We also saw Bib Fortuna. He does have artwork available. I think Bib Fortuna is going to be a TB character. He's going to be one of them that's going to be released for Jabba.
and then I just wonder what they'll do for neutral. I just don't really Hondo. That's it. That's where
Yeah,
they're gonna
no,
put
it's
Hondo
it's
in.
it's got there's no way that it's not Hondo. Hondo's got to be the
There's no
TB
way.
character. Yeah.
There's no way. They can't deny us Hondo for this long.
Um, but
Oh,
Inquisitors are going to be necessary. So, unfortunately, for those wanting to put it off, unfortunately, um, they might just become like the new Geos or like the new Shock clones or something. They just it's something that you got to get. Um, but again, Inquisitors with the Grand Inquisitor they're not a bad team, and especially if Riva comes, they might even get even better. So we'll see. Um,
also, one more thing. I wanted your thoughts on this. How are they going to? What is your idea on how they're going to split this thing up? Because currently they went to like a 28-day model for game events, and so it's you start the month out with 2 TBs, then you get Dark Side TB, and then at the beginning of the month you start Grand Arena, and then they have it lined up now where you go 2 TBs with Grand Arena, and then no 2 Territory Wars with Grand Arena, a TB with Grand Arena, 2 more Territory Wars with Grand Arena, and then they line up Light Side Geo, Light Side Hoth with, and they do the start of Conquest, no Grand Arena, and then I think the last half of Conquest is with 2 Territory Wars. So like, are they just gonna outright, I don't know how they're gonna fit this in. My kind of thought was instead of doing 2 Territory Wars back to back, you just remove like a Territory War in between. So then it would be 1 TB, 1 Territory War, 1 TB, 1 Territory War.
I can see that.
Or they just give you the option of, do you want to do a Dark Side Geo or do you want to do this? Do you want to do Light Side Geo or do you want to do this? Which I would hate
Yeah.
because
Well, then again, you got to think for. I wonder how this is going to go. Like, I wonder if they'll give you the option to choose which TB you want, and like, because I'd say most guilds, I would say like mid to end game, which I would say this new TB is primed for mid to end game. They are maxing Darkside Geo or near maxing Darkside Geo, and most characters most players have a 7-star Watt.
yeah.
They might just say, yeah, we're not going to do Darkside Geo anymore, and we're going to go do this. I'm curious to see. I guess when the closer to its release, we'll see how the schedule's going to change. I kind of like the idea of just Territory War TB, but I don't know, though, because TBs take so much longer than TWs, though.
Yeah, but then with getting rid of, essentially you do 6 Territory Wars a month. In the 24 day cycle, you do 6 Territory Wars, right? And then 2, yeah. you do essentially, six territory wars. You cut out three. That's depending on your guild. That's anywhere from 3 to 15 R9 mats.
I
It's
don't
like you
see.
cut
This is
out
where
a lot of
also I'm not sure if they're going to do that though. They would either need to up the
yeah.
rewards of R9 mats, or they're going to also because also we have the Datacron reroll mats, and especially with how they're changing the structure of the rewards, I don't know if they're gonna how that's gonna go. We'll see. But yeah, we're now gonna have a mixed TB. So very very interesting. We will see when that comes. The next big thing is gear changes are coming. Basically, what they're doing is they're implementing the last parts of Phase 1 of the gear changes. So hard nodes will have increased like chances of gear dropping, and I believe like more important gear will be added to those hard nodes. So it's kind of incentivizing you to farm hard to do the hard nodes, and then they're also going to have a core gear section in the shard shop currency store area that's always going to have those gear pieces available. So those will be coming. I know that they promised those last year, but don't worry, they're coming. But the other thing, and this is with the title update that will be coming very soon, is those mod changes that we saw and mod calibration. Rock, do you want to walk through what mod calibration is?
Essentially, they have a little video for the graphics. Essentially, what it looks like is you can say you rolled a potency. Like that's what it's showing. It's showing like you rolled a potency on a mod, and you do not want that potency, which I don't know why they would get rid of that because it's a speed mod on Darth Vader. You kind of need potency for him, but whatever. I digress. But it's essentially you're swapping over the potency for a different type of mod. So in the video, it shows like potency, and then it rolled offense. And so it's like, do you want to keep the potency or do you want to keep the offense? And then you kind of basically swap it over. But from the way it also sounded like, let me see where it read. Mod calibration allows you to tune your mods even further by transferring slices between stats to create the best mod for your roster. And that's very vague because am I, transferring like, say for example, I rolled speed 4 times and then I rolled, tenacity once. Can I transfer that one tenacity roll to a speed? Or is it just going to be like, oh, you rolled the tenacity, now you can switch the tenacity to something else? They don't really specify exactly.
As far as I'm aware, is how this works is you choose which stat you want to pull from. So let's just say so in this instance you roll tenacity, but you want to roll speed. Obviously, this is Galaxy of Heroes. There is going to be some randomness. The game is going to randomly choose between those 3 other ones.
Okay.
What to give it to. So this is where, let's just say you rolled speed 5 times and you wanted to get more protection or you wanted to get more offense or something. So you pick the stat that you want to pull from that you rolled that you didn't want that roll. It will never pull from another stat. It will only pull from the one you gave. So let's just say like you rolled speed 5 times, and this is for like a JML mod, and you had percent offense with like 2 rolls, and then like flat offense with like 4 rolls. You can click that flat offense and say, okay, let's try to move this to that percent protection. And so you can like fine tune that mod to be more what you want.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, that makes more sense now. From the video, I didn't really realize that it was just pulling from the mods in the actual mod itself. I thought what it was doing was just completely changing it.
Oh no.
Whatever. Yeah, if it was completely changing it to whatever, I would be like, this isn't that cool because then I'm just gonna get RNG'd. But now this is even like, I don't know. There's almost no reason now to not get a lot faster of mods because now you essentially get 10 rolls to get 5 speed, then if you don't get those 5 speed rolls, then you can calibrate it, you know, to try to get even more speed on it.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a very, very wild world coming soon. Just tons of fast mods.
I like this. I think this is a really good change because I think there's some times where like,
Yeah.
I've rolled like a 6E to 6A mod and like never rolled speed or never got that fifth roll on speed. And it's a good mod, but maybe I want to get that fifth roll, or maybe I have my fifth roll on speed and I want to get like 5 rolls in something else, or to like, beef up some other stats. So I think this just allows us to just make even better mods. And especially with all the new mod changes that are coming, that just makes it easier. I think this makes modding more user friendly, and also more like, the more that you invest in it, the more that you can get a better payoff for this. So, and the other changes, the mod challenge, the tier 3 of the mod challenge will no longer give 3 and 4 dot mods. It will only give 5 dot mods, which I don't know why, after like what, the 7 years of this game's existence, and ever since mods were introduced, why this is now just becoming a thing, but we'll take it. They also said that they are equalizing the drop rates for all shapes of mods, which means that triangles and crosses and all the right side mods will have a much higher drop rates than the left side mods, which is very nice because triangles and crosses are hard to come by.
Agreed. Triangles are annoying. I was looking at it the other day, and I've been farming mods, and I was like, I literally didn't realize this, but I have 4 crit chance triangles to my name.
Mm-hmm.
4. I was like, yeah, that's awesome.
So
I've been farming for like 2 weeks, haven't found a single one. It's ridiculous.
all in all, I'd say this is a good road ahead. A lot of stuff to look forward to. I think Jabba's going to be cool. I'm always down with new PVE content, and we love mod changes around here. I think we had a few podcast questions, so do you want to touch on those before we?
Yeah. Let me see. I don't think it was a lot. It was just a couple.
Takuma, my guy, I wanted to touch on you.
Yeah. Thoughts on the rumor that Java is going to be more PvE focused and not actually very useful in PvP? I was personally hoping to be able to use Java to stay up the ladder in Arena more constantly. I think with his insta-kill, they kind of rumored that insta-kill, and I think it's going to be, especially if you run a team, because if what MDA was saying about how his ultimate's going to be charged by thermal detonators, I figure with Bosch Leia, Mob Enforcer, you're going to be able to get a lot of thermal detonators, and then Jabba's probably going to have something in his kit with thermal detonators where he's going to apply them himself. And I figure it's just going to be, stay alive long enough, get to your ultimate, insta-kill somebody that's not a GL, and then, finish it up. So I think he's going to be pretty good at, PvP, I'm sorry. But I think they're kind of it was kind of like when JMK first came out without Cat. Everyone was looking at it, was like, yo, this is gonna be really good in light side Geo, because now I'm gonna be able to use 2 GLs for the Jedi missions, and now I don't even have to worry about splitting up my Jedi and using Jedi Knight Luke and then JML. And I think this is kind of what Jabba's going to be main focus is going to be PvE stuff, but he's not going to be a bottom tier, kind of like C in a way, where he's not very good in the PvP side of things.
Yeah, so one thing is, for anyone going for Jabba, look for Lord Vader to be a hard counter, because Lord Vader with his lead, they are immune to thermal detonators under that certain percent health threshold. So that's going to be rough if you're trying to go Jabba versus Lord Vader. But anyways, yeah, I think he's going to be good in PvP. He's a galactic legend, I think, and especially with how wide the bounty hunter, Hutt cartel, scoundrel faction is, I think you're going to be able to find counters to a lot of things. But I do think that maybe Jabba might be more of a PVE Galactic Legend, which again, there is a place for that. Um, but I think he'll be good, and especially if he gets a Conquest Lifter too, I think he's going to be. He'll have his place in the meta, but I think I think that the game is maybe shifting to a more PVE focus right now with the new TB and all that, and I think Jabba being important just might put that there. But yeah, maybe a little disappointing. But I think he'll be good. I think he'll still be a Galactic Legend. It's not like Padme's gonna be beating him or stuff like that, or like Darth Revan's gonna be beating him or stuff like that. I think he's still gonna be GL viability in PvP.
Mm. And then I guess let's get to Reliant's question. This one's kind of fun. Not related to the current stuff, but if a Separatist GL came out, who do you think it would be?
Oh, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think we ever see a Separatist GL. I just don't think that faction was big enough, or like to have one. But if we were, let's just say we were, man, I think we get a different version of Dooku. Possibly like a Darth Tyrannus, and he'll have like a Sith tag, but he'll be Separatist. But I don't know. Like, we've already got those versions of the characters, so it's tough to say. Maybe we get a new Grievous.
I don't know. I would like for them to like throw in, because like throughout like the Clone Wars, they always threw in like other Separatist leaders, like the one guy from the banking clan that was pretty cool. They could also do like throw in Trench or something like that. I think Trench is a fan favorite. That'd be a cool one. But I just don't.
It's just like,
I'm with you. I just
Galactic Legend is just like such a high tier of character. I mean, it's like we've got Rey, Kylo, Luke, C, Lord Vader, Jedi Master Kenobi, and like Jabba's also a very big name, very important character. And I just don't see anyone, unless they repeat someone like Grievous or Dooku. I just don't see that ever really happening.
Yeah. Dooku would be Grievous would be my bet for like a redo, because they did it with like Vader, but you have like Darth Vader, Lord Vader, but I don't know what other, like they could do like the pre-robot Dooku, but even then, like, I don't know.
I don't know, and like it could have been Sidious, but we already got Darth Sidious. I don't know. But look, that's all the questions I think we had. But overall, I think really good road ahead. It's good to see all of Jabba's requirements. I think we're going to be getting a lot of cool content coming through. But what the road ahead failed to address was what you are farming. And I think that's what is on everyone's minds. So, Rock, what are you farming right now?
I'm pretty close to finishing up JML. I think as of today, I got JTR to R5, just 2 more relic levels for her. I got Biggs to relic. He'll be done pretty quick. Getting to someone to R3 is not hard. And then Wedge is at gear 11, and then I'll have to work on Mothma. She's going to be a pain. She's at like gear 8, gear 9. She'll take a little while, but I have most of the Kairos for her saved up. It's just going to be, do I have all the other stuff? Because I have run out of like every type of gear. Like, I never thought I would run out of like the little thermal detonator things, the things that take like 50.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you always get like fully crafted pieces. Like, I never thought I would run out of those, but I was looking at it, I was like, wow, Wedge needs 3 of these things, and I don't even have any.
Yikes.
So, yeah, it's weird. I have a bunch of Kairos saved up, but I have like none of the other gear needed in the game. I'm like, this is awesome. I just love this so much. But then I think I should have him done towards. I'm I'm hoping I'll have him done at like the end of the month. So have him, farmed up or whatever. I really don't know what my next project is going to be. I'm kind of liking Java myself, but I kind of want to see more of the TB and what's going to be required for it before I like fully invest in it. But I do think that I'm gonna like upgrade a couple of like squads. Like I really need to work on my Jedi a bit because it sucks having to like not have a good split for TB.
Mm-hmm.
Like phase 2 right now, I have to put in the gas and Ahsoka mission, and I'm like, yeah, all right, Qui-Gon Jinn, you're gonna have to work for JFK. I'm like,
Qui-Gon
yeah,
and Ayla putting in work.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm like, yeah, you two just carry the mission for me, please. So that's I guess I'm working on for the most part. So, all right, what about you? What did the road ahead not tell us that you were farming?
So I have not only finished all the farming for Sith Eternal, I am in the ticket farming, and I have finished Tier 1. I've got all of these shards from Tier 1, and I am on Tier 2, so I'm 80 out of 330. I have all of Sith Eternal's gear. I can take him straight to Gear 13. He was really easy to gear. I'm not going to lie. He did not have a lot of Kairos. I think he only had like 350 of the shock prods needed, or like, actually, I'm gonna while I'm talking, I'm gonna double check that. It was relatively easy to get everything for him, and I am farming. And the good thing is Conquest came up, so I'm gonna go buy all of the relic pieces, all of those other stuff from Conquest, just because
Nice.
I can. Yeah, he only needed 250 shock prods.
That's not bad.
I know it's not bad, so I've already got all of his gear. And for farming dark side tickets, I am farming the second sister and the seventh sister's node, because
Nice.
I think if we go off the normal legendary cadence, Grand Inquisitor should be coming back at the end of September. I will not have it ready for then, but I believe Christmas time it will come back again, and I'm going to go for Grand Inquisitor then. But in the meantime, once we finish Sith Eternal, I'm going to be farming a couple teams before I just jump headfirst into Inquisitors. I'm going for I got to get Grievous up and running. I don't have a good Grievous team, so I'm going to get him up and running. And then I'm going to get the Sith Trio, Savage, and Talon. I'm going to get all them up and running. So I'll have my Sith faction, I'll have Grievous, and then Inquisitors will probably round out the end of the year. But I'm not going to lie, Jabba, I was thinking about going into First Order or for Rey, but I'm not going to lie, I think I'm going to have to go Jabba next. I've already got most of the hard requirements, and he looks really good, and especially for how important he's going to be with TB. I think I'm going to go Jabba after that. But, yeah, C and into Inquisitors.
Yeah. Before we go, DNL put up a good little question right before we left. What features do you want added? How do you think CG can keep people after losing so many to Datacrons? It's a pretty decent question. I kind of like it.
Oh, that is a good question. What features do I want added? I can't think of any features that I really want added. I'm kind of feeling good right now after those mod changes. Unfortunately, I think Datacrons are here to stay. I think they just need to keep working on making Datacrons more user-friendly. And I like the changes that they made in Conquest for where you can acquire the material. I don't know. I'm not sure if I like the most recent change where it is only 2 sets active and it is for 4 months. I'm not sure if I like that. I'll see how I do. I liked 3 months at a time, but I also know that it was really fast and it was adding a lot all at once. I think, if you asked me, I think the idea of Datacrons was needed, but I don't know if I like how they were introduced. I'm personally, I don't hate them as much as the next person, but I think it is something that we are definitely not seeing Datacrons in their final form. they're gonna have to change. They're gonna have to really mold them a lot. But what about you? What's something you want to see added, or what CG can do to keep people?
Honestly, you might hate me for this one, but I want to see like I don't want Conquest to get easier. I just want it to be less of a grind. Like this is just my like
Yeah.
I would like for example like 14 battles, like reduce it to 10. Like that's four less battles, but then like overall, I think like I did the math the other day for like what is the minimum amount of battles that you have to do. Oh, I'm actually gonna. I think it was something close to like 210. Like you need to do like between like the uh between like the global feats of win battle with this team or this squad, and then the like minor feats like the sector feats. I think it was close to like 210 battles minimum that you needed to beat. And I'm like who has the time to like? I know it's 2 weeks to do it, but like
I'm not gonna lie.
I
The way so like
I,
I like Conquest, but I've even seen just like if you aren't on it every day doing
yeah,
your minimal thing, it is almost impossible to finish it. Like it takes a good if you're on your shit like 10 to 11 days of consistent like getting everything done, maximizing your teams and all that and the stamina and all that. um I'm not gonna lie, I think they selling back the stamina regen was too much. I'm gonna be honest, I think what they personally should have done for the pass, because I buy the $10 pass every conquest. I think how it should have been is you can buy. I think the stamina regen and all that should have just been permanent. That should have just been a feature, and I think the reward track should have been there for $10. And if for the $30 one, you get the extra gear and all that, and it stretches across all three conquests. And or like maybe make it $40 instead, or like or something, but you're getting extra gear or something, and it stretches over all three, or like for that conquest, you are getting like the extra reward track with the extra shards, all the extra stuff. But I think if they were to change the energy regen and all that, I'm not gonna lie, I think people would be more apt to do it.
I'll also say this from like coming from like somebody where pretty much this is what I do for like the first 5 days or so of Conquest is I'm rotating between JMK Cat, Gas, CLS. I'm just rotating between those three, trying to clear through as fast as I can, and then I go back and try to finish up any sectors. But like there was a point in time where I was doing that, but with JMK and Gas, I didn't have CLS yet. And if you don't have like 3 or 4 good teams that you can just take to like 50 stamina, then you're not gonna. There's not enough time.
Like I said,
Like
I made my video on Conquest. You either need like an ass ton of teams at like high relics. You either need like 9 or 10 teams that can consistently go down to 50 stamina, or like you need a GL. Like just straight up, like it is almost gated that you need a GL to do hard conquest.
yeah, I couldn't imagine doing this without like I couldn't imagine doing Conquest without a GL or Gas.
Yeah.
Like not even having Gas would be just awful. But I do think like one of the things they could do is just like limit the amount of battles that it takes. Like, I mean, taking away 4 battles for like the non-separatist droids, winning 14 battles with non-separatist droids. Don't make it 14, make it 10. It's 4 less battles, but like at the end of the day, like if you can get to 10 battles, you can get to 14. You know what I mean? But like just don't make us do the 14. I think like I think a lot of it is like for one, you're forced to use a team for a lot for like just random. There's niche teams like 14 wins with Inquisitors, for example. But then I mean that's 14 battles. Just think of it from a time perspective. So like just if you were just gonna do all 14 battles at once, you for some reason in this hypothetical I'm creating, you have the stamina to do 14 battles in a row.
Mm-hmm.
What do you like on average? You would say 3 minutes per battle,
Yeah.
and so what is I hate math. That is 42 minutes if you're doing 3 minutes of battle. That's I mean, you can round it out and let's just say 45. That's 45 minutes out of your day or out of your week that you have to do these battles on. But, you limit, I mean, you do 10 and now it's only 30. You just saved yourself 12 minutes to do your Grand Arena, do, Territorial War. Or I think the main reason why a lot of people are getting burnt out is because there's just so much stuff and not enough time to do it.
Um, I personally think, actually, I'm not going to DNL. I highlighted your comment there. I actually think I'm going to make a video on this next. I actually really like that idea, being season focused, and I think we can still keep it month to month. But I actually think Conquest. I think the Conquest should last for a whole month.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
and this is where like if they don't want to increase the energy regen, like just have it for the whole month, because this is where now they can like completely like this gives you to where you'll have each month to go, you farm all your new that's where you could go, you get all your feats, and that also makes it a lot easier to do this, and you can farm your datacron materials there. You have the whole month, and especially where now like you have the whole month to go farm these new things and get all the slicing materials and do all that. And this is where they can nerf the amount that you gain if they're going to do that on like and I'm going to do some research here on this and like come up with like how to make this CG profitable, because I think they are at a point to where like the community is at a breaking point of like being exhausted from the time having to go into this. But I kind of like that being season focus. And I agree with you, Rock. Just like making less of these really monotonous feats, or like some of these things that it's just like this takes a long time to do, and it should not be this difficult to do some of these things. I think it should be one of those things that like it may take some thoughts, and this is where like the big brains in the community will come up with it first. But after that, I think it should just be something, as long as you're willing to do it or put some time into it, it shouldn't be that bad.
I also wish for like I understand like how for like each of the global feats, there's like a theme. Like right now we have resistance and first order theme,
Mm-hmm.
but like I wish what they would do is you throw in like a theme. For like this one, you have like win 40 battles with resistance, win 40 battles with first order. And then there's one where it's like win 40 battles with like veteran Han and Kylo Ren unmasked, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I wish what they would do is they would throw in kind of like a freebie where it's like win, kill 100 enemies with rebels. It's not with the theme, but it's just like it's something where like the majority of people are going to be using this team anyway. So why not just give us a freebie?
Mm-hmm.
So it makes doing the monotonous stuff a little less, because I know that my first go around I'm gonna get these 100 or 200 kills with CLS and the crew.
Mm-hmm.
But I also wish instead of doing win 40 battles with resistance, they did like kill 200 enemies with resistance, because you don't need a full relic resistance team to do it then.
Yeah.
Because then I would just bring in, R2D2 and just snipe kills. That's what I've been doing for like the droid kills. I've been just bringing in R2D2 and Chupio and just trying to like have them snipe people. But that's my big gripe, is that it's too much of a grind, and if you don't dedicate an hour to 2 hours a day just doing battles, then you'll never get it done. You really need like a true 11 days of fully like 2 or 3 hours every day to get it done. And then the worst part about it is they're gating characters behind it. And see, like when it first came out, I was slacking big time. Like I never like I would get like the third or fourth crate, and I was like, all right, whatever. But then now I'm at a point where it's like I don't have any of these conquest characters, and like that's what's like holding a lot of my roster back, is I don't have these, characters that make really good teams. And so you're almost pretty much forced to do it if you want any sort of roster progression or any kind of like staying relevant in the meta. Like, I would just love to have them all right now. That'd be pretty nice.
Yeah.
But that's my gripe. I'll quit griping.
So I think that's a good place to wrap up here. I think we'll definitely see tomorrow when Leia's event goes live. We'll see Arnold and possibly Glurmit and all the big boys go and wail on characters and see how they function. And we'll see how Jabba comes out with the title update and all that, and the new TB. I think we got a lot of things to look forward to. But yeah, appreciate you guys for stopping by the pod here. And if you guys ever want to listen, go back and listen to anything, or go back and cook us for some trash takes. Pod will be live on my YouTube at The Optimist. Rock, you got anything to say before we hop off?
No, but go ahead and farm Java and Inquisitors because it looks like the TB's gonna need it. So just do it. Make your life a little bit easier.
Yep. But
right.
yeah.